Howdy, 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 and welcome to another episode of the DirtInfo podcast. If you could, as always, hit the like or subscribe if you're new here. We had a couple new subscribers this week on YouTube. We're always excited to welcome more people to this, so just hit it. It's just right down there. Much appreciated as always. Carter, let's get this thing kicked off properly with a little Stylin and Profilin, and I'll let you lead us.
Yes, I got a Rico Abreu shirt, and you saw the back. It's like a, I wish I could show it, but I don't feel like standing up. It's like a whole bunch of this pink and this blue on the back. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how to explain it, but I was a fan of the design. I got it at Plymouth 3 years ago, I think. 2 years ago. It was for the Race Routine Foundation race, when the All-Stars were still around. Well, I guess they're around now, but when they were
The previous
the
iteration.
the OG All-Stars, yeah.
Yeah.
And Rico won that night. But yeah, so I think I showed the event shirt from that night,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like a month ago or something. But yeah, this is I also got this shirt that night. So
Right on. Right on. Well, I am rocking a Gordy Gundaker shirt that I picked up at USA Nationals, I think a couple years ago. But I got it. So apparently, I'm noticing that I like a good theme, and this is the GTA themed merch that he had that year when he was running Outlaws. And so he got me. I liked it a lot. So I picked it up. Sherry got a similar one in a like a baby pink. So like we have matching shirts kind of sort of. So anyway, so um I kind of look like Barney in it, but I dig it. So anyway, so um I ended up wimping out on racing, and we'll get to that in a second, but you definitely did some racing. So tell us where you went and what you saw, man, because you were everywhere.
yeah, well, we talked about last week. I was supposed to go to Cresco, but they ended up. Or no, was it decided
Yeah,
that I
we
was going?
we
Okay,
we knew you
okay,
were rained out. Yep.
okay. Yeah, so they rained out, and I was supposed to go to Tri-City and Macon. And it was so hot there that there was like pop-up storms or whatever, I guess, going on.
Yeah.
And of course, one of those pop-up storms hit Tri-City. And we were already in Illinois. We got to the hotel at like a little before 3, and then we got to the track probably like I think 5, little after 5. And we were probably like the whole way. We went into one rainstorm on the way down there, and it was one of the worst storms I ever drove through. I thought we were driving through a tornado. But after
Yeah.
that, we had like no rain. It was sunny all day or whatever. And when we hit the first storm, this was ways away from Tri-City, so it wasn't an issue. Then we left the hotel, drove to Tri-City, and we were getting closer, and you can like see the rain falling that like
Yeah.
far away. We could see it, and like we were like 8 miles away at this point. We're like, okay, well, as long as in 8 miles we still didn't hit it, we'll be okay. And then as we got to 2 miles away, all of a sudden we hit it, and for like 20 seconds it was a light rain. I remember Ryan was like, "Oh, at least it's light," and then like 20 seconds later it was pouring out, and it was sunny, still sunny. It's just there was like one cloud over us that was just l- letting loose on that area. And yeah, so Tri-City got, I guess they got an inch of rain in 20 minutes. And
Holy.
yeah, there was some people saying like run it in and stuff. There was huge puddles everywhere. Like I got soaked in the parking lot. My right foot got soaked getting out of my car. Um, Haulers were stuck in the pit area. But if the track was
Yeah.
built 2 miles south of where it is, they would have been dry all day and would have been able to race no problem.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very, very
Dang.
unfortunate.
I saw pictures. I think you or Ryan posted a picture in the Discord, and then I saw pictures on social media. Like it just let out.
Yeah,
There was standing water everywhere. There
everywhere.
was
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we
So
saw race
unfortunate.
cars. A lot of guys were waiting outside the pit gate, waiting to see what's going to happen. And then it wasn't official that it was canceled, but it wasn't a good sign when we saw the infield reporter. We saw her walking past us to her car, and I looked around. I was like, "Well, that's not a good sign." And then
Usually
I could
not.
see the top of the grandstands where the camera was, and I saw them taking their stuff down. I was like, "Oh yeah." And the rain was done, so they're not taking it down for rain. I was like, "Oh yeah,
Mhm.
they're definitely canceled." Then like 10 minutes later, they posted on Facebook that they're canceled. So that was a rough start to the day, especially because we did all that driving. It wouldn't have even been that bad if we didn't get to the track already, because then we would have
Yeah.
been in, because it was an hour and 20-ish from our hotel to the track. So we spent like 2 hours and 40 minutes driving there and back pretty much. And we could have went and done something in Springfield instead, because it was
Yeah.
still early enough. But by the time we got back, it was like 7:30, and then we had to eat. And then by that point, everything was pretty much closed, unless we wanted to hit the bars, which we weren't going to be doing that. So, um, but then yeah, then the next day, Macon. Well, before we went to Macon, we went to Abraham Lincoln's house. Not, I don't think it was his childhood home, but it was like his first home that he bought and that he lived to up until becoming president. So that was cool, and it was free. The only thing you had to pay $2 an hour for parking, so it was $4 for us to see it. So we were like, sure, why not? That'll give us something to kill time with during the day.
And you
Um,
learned something, I'm sure.
yeah. So we couldn't you had to be very careful where you walk though. If you went off this like carpet they have on there, I guess alarms and stuff go off. Nobody did
Yeah.
it in our group, but yeah, so it was cool to check that out. And then what did we do after that? I think we ate somewhere. Oh, we had a horseshoe. Have you heard of that? It's like some
Mm-mm.
food that I guess is like a more of a Springfield thing. I'm sure other parts
No.
of Illinois have it, but it's like it's they claim it's a sandwich. It's not a sandwich at all. When I Googled it, it was they said it was a sandwich. I don't know how it's a
Bert
sandwich.
strongly disagrees with that.
It's two pieces of Texas toast on like the bottom, and then above that it's like whatever meat you picked. I got like a Philly cheesesteak one, so I had steak, and then it's French fries, and then like a cheese sauce on top of it. So it's not it's not like it's I don't know how that
An
becomes a
open face
sandwich. There's
sandwich.
nothing. Yeah, I guess if you want to consider that, there's bread on the bottom.
There's two pieces of bread. If you have two pieces of bread, you have a sandwich, I
I mean, I
guess.
guess. Um, but yeah, it was pretty good. I would definitely go back. And it was I guess the place we went to, Darcy's Pub, maybe it was called Darcy's something, but it was on like Diners, Drive-ins and Dives or whatever that show is on Food Network. I
Yeah.
guess it's been on there before, and they're like the highest rated one in the area, so we tried that. Very good. Filling too. We were not hungry until, well, I wasn't hungry until the races. I don't think Ryan ate until we got back,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um,
Well, you got some food recommendations for at the races, so I'm hoping you were at least hungry enough to try some of this stuff.
yeah, I did not try what you suggested. But yeah, we got to Macon. Um, when we got there, it looked smaller than the dome. Like the track looked small. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's because we're closer up, because like at the dome, there's that gap between the track and then like the
Yeah.
grandstands and whatnot, but it felt way smaller. And the cool thing about there is you can pretty much see the whole pit area without going in the pits, because you can the like backstretch seating on the backstretch is like general admission pretty much. So you can walk over there, and they have pits are on the backstretch, and then there's pits in one and two, but there's seating in one and two also. So you just kind of walk by the fence where the seating is, and you can see in the entire pit area. Um, so that was cool. I didn't even have to get a pit pass or nothing. I could see everything I needed to see. Um,
Just zoom in on that phone. Yeah, it's like you're in the pits.
um, and then what do we do after that? Yeah, I think we just waited around. It was hot again. No rain this time, so that was good. Although on the way there we could see it was raining, but it was like the opposite way of the track, so I wasn't really too worried about it. But we could see rain falling in the distance. So it was still around us, just not at the track.
At least it wasn't at the track this time.
Yeah. Um, yeah, then racing started, and I mean, it did not disappoint. I mean, did you watch the feature, or did you go to bed for
I
that?
did. I did watch the feature. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the heats, first of all, the heats were, especially the one with Brandon Shepherd and Christian Hanger. That was interesting. Shepherd threw quite the slide job and was not fully clear on that. Or, I mean, I guess he was clear, but Hanger just kind of slammed right in the back of him. So that was interesting. But then the mod feature was going to be really good, and then Chase Holland broke something while leading. Him and I can't remember someone was next to him, and they were side by side like the whole race. Was it Ledford that was he was
And
next to him? You know what I'm talking about though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, him and Ledford ended up winning, so it might have been Ledford. Um, yeah, they were side by side like the whole time, and then Holland broke with like five to go, and then Ledford kind of had no challenge after that. But then the late model feature came out, and that was crazy. For a while, it was like right on the top,
Mhm.
but it was really rough too. Especially we were sat just coming out of four, and there was a big hole right like in the middle of three and four that that when they hit it right, they like hard wouldn't stop bouncing. It just kept bouncing. Um, and a lot of guys were trying that up until like, I don't know, maybe 20 to go. Um, and then I think Turbo led for a while, and then Trey Mills got by, if I remember right. And then Mills led technically the rest of the way, but
Technically the rest of the way, but yeah.
Shepard started dead last, drove to 10th, got a flat, got it fixed, started dead last again, drove all the way to second, and
Hmm.
almost won it coming out of turn 4. And I thought he tried
Wow.
the top like with 2 to go and lost a bunch of ground, and I thought he screwed himself, but then he made up all that ground right back in like a lap
Yeah.
and almost
Yeah, I
got him.
thought I mean, he must have hounded him for 10 plus laps. I can't even remember how exactly. It may have been even way more than that. I just
Yeah,
know it was definitely the last 10. And the whole time I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get him because he'd get lower at coming out of 4 sometimes, or he'd take a little bit higher line and look like he'd get a little bit of speed going to the backstretch. But he just never. I think he got by him on a slider, and Mills turned it back underneath and got by him
I think so, yeah.
once or twice even. But like, yeah, he never really. I don't think he ever led a lap, like you said.
No,
So
I don't think he officially led a lap. And
yeah,
it rubbered in turn 1 and 2, but like it didn't really matter. Like the race was still good, and it rubbered late in the race. And then 3 and 4, it didn't look like it rubbered. It just looked like it the top like just went away because they were like because Shepard was still getting like was running a line lower than Trey Mills and was
yeah,
still being
yes,
able to get
absolutely.
underneath them. Um, but yeah, and I think too because it's so small and that you hit traffic so fast that the rubber kind of didn't matter because you're in traffic in like 5 laps. Towards the end, there was few and fewer cars, but
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, and I know, and in 1 and 2 actually, or 3 and 4, what's his name? 31 car, Tyler Millwood. He was like one guy that kept trying it in 3 and 4, and he would get a run out of 1 and 2, but then he'd have to slow down for the rubber every time
yeah,
or going into 1 and 2. But yeah, I love that place. I would definitely go back to that race next year if my schedule allows it. I would probably go back to it.
yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely jealous that you made it down there. That it continuing with the theme, I watch a lot of stuff if I'm not there and you go through all the effort of traveling because you're there and we can talk about it. But like, um, but yeah, after watching that race, I was like, dude, that place looks so
Yeah,
freaking fun.
it was
Did
it.
you?
Oh, go ahead.
Some of the comments on TikTok said you're gonna get pelted. Did you get pelted?
Not by rocks or anything, but I was gonna
It's
say
not a lot of
it
dirt.
was
Yeah,
very it wasn't dusty where you couldn't see. It was just the dust that like coated you. Like
yeah.
like my leg was like turning brown, like the top of my legs and my arms and stuff. Especially during the when the sun was still out because you're sweating, so it was sticking to you. But then
Yeah, I
once the
can
sun came
imagine.
down, you could brush it off, and it was off of you. So
Right on.
oh, and I
Yeah.
tried a Polish sausage. So that was the food I tried there, not the whatever.
Okay.
What did you suggest? The
I think it was a
ribeye?
ribeye sandwich.
Oh yeah, I got the Polish sausage, and it's just like a hot dog. It's a big hot dog, pretty much. That's what it tasted like one too. So
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. So then after your trip, you came back and then you just had to work 3 straight days?
yep,
Yeah.
Luxembourg, Plymouth, and then Angel Park. Um, look, did you see the stock car feature in Luxembourg? Did you watch the highlight video?
I didn't. I
Oh,
didn't.
it was another week where they had a close finish. It was .021 between Luke Lemons and Trent Nolan, and Luke Lemons ended up winning. Um,
Uh-huh.
and then Benji won the mod feature. So I'll, he took the lead 3 times in that race, and 2 of the times he would take the lead, and then caution would come out, and
Gotcha.
so they go
Uh-huh.
to the last lap. That
Yeah.
happened to him twice in a row. So
Uh,
I'm sure he was getting a bit frustrated, especially because he'd have to change up how he was like. Because I talked to him on Saturday, and he was like, I don't know if I should try because he kept restarting on the bottom. He was like, surely this time he's gonna think I'm gonna like he knows what I'm doing, and he thought about going to the top, and he was like, screw it, we're gonna try it again. And
stick with
he
what's working.
yeah, he was like, I don't think the guy leading can keep his car like low enough to block like Benji
Mhm.
could, and he did not because Benji went right on by and ended up winning, but. And
Right
speaking of
on.
Benji, I got this a couple weeks ago and forgot to show it. It's like one of those cars that
Ooh,
you like pull back and then it
the pullback
drives
cars.
away. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use it like that. For me, it just looks like a nice. It looks like
You know,
it was just a nice little die cast. It was only $20. And I was like, oh, sure.
heck yeah, I dig that. Are there any left?
Yeah, well,
I should
actually,
get one to go with
I,
the
I,
little setup over here.
I didn't even buy it from Benji. I bought it. There's a guy named Russ. I think Rocket Russ Collectibles is his
Okay.
like thing, but he made some, and I saw it at Plymouth. And I don't know if Benji's ever even raced at Plymouth, but he just had like a bunch of stuff. Like he had stock cars, late models, modifieds. And I saw this one, and I was like, oh, I don't know how many he's got made, but I'm gonna buy one if he's only got a few. And then I remember sending a picture to my mom, and my mom was with Benji at the time. And I guess Benji's like, whoa, where'd you get that? And then Benji ended up ordering some more. But I don't know if
Okay.
he's selling them or if he's just giving them to sponsors and
That
whatnot.
makes
But
sense.
I was getting my hands on one of these. So
Yeah. Well, I got to keep my eyes peeled for Rocket Russ, I guess. That's pretty neat. Yeah, I obviously we did the card before and stuff. I dig neat sort of one-off treasures like that. So that's pretty awesome. So, well, I didn't go racing. I talked about possibly going to Cedar Lake, but it didn't happen. It just on Saturday they pushed the show forward and the threat of rain was still kind of serious and kiddo played a baseball game. Um right, like he got done at 4:30, so like every part of that was just gonna be kind of miserable. So we decided to stay home, but um it was worth it. Kiddo had a heck of a weekend at baseball. So they unfortunately lost the championship game. But given how I've updated some of these other tournaments, that was a heck of a run. And Colton himself kind of was the hero in a couple different instances. He ripped a single down the line, which maybe could have been the winning hit. In the final inning, he could have possibly drove two home, but it at least tied the game. And then a couple batters later, they knocked in the winning run. So that was pretty cool. That was in the semifinal game. And then in
I
the final game,
I
what's
thought you
that?
were gonna say when you said unfortunately, I thought you were gonna say unfortunately they won. 'Cause it wasn't it last.
Oh,
You said if they won, you probably wouldn't be able to go to Cedar Lake or something because
oh
they'd move
yeah,
on. So I thought you
yeah.
were gonna
Well,
say
they did win.
unfortunately
They did. They won.
unfortunately they won.
Well, no, they won on Friday, which was kind of cool to see. And so they actually ended up playing earlier. So them winning made Cedar Lake actually slightly more likely.
Oh,
Yeah, they'd have played at 4 if they lost. So I had the schedule backwards. Um, so, but no, and then in the championship game, Kiddo had a hit to take the lead at one point, and he even pitched the final two innings. Unfortunately, in the final inning, he did. There was one run lead going into the bottom of the seventh, which was the last inning they were playing, and um, should have probably had two outs. Only got one strikeout, and then unfortunately, they got the winning run in on him. So, but I mean, I was telling him the whole weekend, pressure makes diamonds, dude. You keep finding yourself in these spots where you have to come up clutch, and you have been coming up clutch. It's okay if you fail every now and again, dude. Like, so I guess this is my dad brag. Instead of bragging about a race, I'm just bragging about my kid. But I was really proud of Colton this weekend, man. He delivered in some big spots, and so it's just cool watching your kids kind of grow up and seeing how they react to pressure. He was cool as a cucumber, even the inning where he ended up giving up the run. Like he was in it the whole way. He didn't just fall apart. It just didn't go his way, kind of
yeah,
thing. So yeah, it's cool to see. But um, but yeah, so that's what I did this weekend. I did watch some stuff though. So we talked about how I watched Making because you were there. I caught a couple of the oh, dog wants to come in or go out. I don't know what it
out.
is, but he wants to
So
do something.
probably coming back in about 2 minutes.
But so I didn't watch Friday, but Nick Hoffman won with the Outlaws on Friday at River Cities. And then Saturday I watched, but I don't remember much. I just know that Nick Hoffman won. So apologies if it was a good race, but it didn't strike me. I think it was more so because I was kind of waiting on the Larry Phillips thing, or more concerned about that. And we'll get there in a minute. But on Sunday though, I watched, and that was a hell of a race. Did you
Yeah,
watch Sunday?
that was the only race I was able to watch
Yeah. Oh
on
man.
streaming this weekend. So
Yeah.
Picked a good one. I had to pick between that or Clarksville. I'm glad I picked Nodak instead. So
Yeah, I think you picked the right one. I mean, that's a big. You weren't kidding last weekend. The stage is huge.
yeah,
The track is massive. I mean, that's a whole half mile for sure. That's a big track.
it's really wide
Um,
too, very wide.
yeah,
It reminds
yeah.
me of I think it's a bit bigger, but it reminds me of Clay County Speedway, like the way it's shaped and stuff.
Okay.
Wide, not like super banked. At least doesn't look like it on camera. And
Hmm.
there's no walls on, well, at least on one side. At Clay County, there's a wall on one side, but not the other. But it just reminds me of Clay County a lot.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm not familiar with Clay County, but if Clay County's like that, I need to get familiar with it because that thing laid down. I mean, McCready, I think I saw came from 12th to win it.
Yep.
Yeah, and there were guys who at one point were challenging for the top 3 who finished in like 12th. And there was guys who coming for there was just so much going on. It was action packed. McCready the McCready's pass for the lead was wild. He got a 2 for 1 coming out of 4.
Did you
So,
see uh Pierce lost his brakes in that race too? Like I guess he
I
lost them
heard
like
afterwards,
early.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean he
Yeah.
mentioned it about 6 times in his interview, I think. So
Oh, I don't
he
I cut out that.
he really made sure people knew. But yeah, he lost them early because he said he thinks he would have won by like half a straightaway if he didn't lose his
Oh,
brakes. But who
well,
knows?
maybe
But
so.
he still ran second.
Everyone has a burden to bear, Bobby. Someone else was dealing with stuff too. So, like, if their car was anyway. But so yeah, I thought it was a really impressive race. It looked really nice too in pictures. So I saw World of Outlaws posted a picture. It looks really clean, like on camera. It just looks really clean and well kept up. It just looked like a really nice facility,
Oh
like a
yeah.
really nice facility. So, um, but like I mentioned on Saturday, I was mostly locked into paying attention to the Heartland Modified Tour and the Phillips Memorial. And I do have to correct myself, and you were right. It's Monet. Monet Motor Speedway. Here I am trying to sound all fancy and shit. But anyway. Um, so I guess maybe just mention off the top, we whiffed on cars. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because it's still healthy. 38 is an absolutely healthy car count. I just was hoping, given the circumstances, there'd been more, but nothing to be ashamed of with 38 cars. And Tanner Mullins won a whole mess of money. So he swept the weekend, first off. So he won both races. Um, but on Saturday it was 7,575 to win, and then they had lap money too. And I can't recall if it was 125 or 175, though 175 makes more sense given
Yeah, given the race and
everything.
everything.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it was like per lap, and then there was another lap that was 750 as well, just to lead the one singular lap. He
Was it like
ended up
a mystery lap, or did they know which one it was?
they said it. It's a mystery to me because I couldn't recall which one it was, and it wasn't 75 laps, so I can't go with that
Yeah,
one.
I remember asking in the Discord if it was 75. I thought like, everything else was 75. I was like, oh, I wonder if they
Yeah,
ran 75 laps. Turns out it was 40, I believe.
yeah. I believe it was 40. I think that was correct. Yeah, I almost said 30, but I'm pretty sure it's 40. It was a fairly solid race. Tanner Mullins, I think, led most all of it, hence the winning like 15 plus $1,000 from that race alone. Not even including the 2 grand he won the night before. So, um, but it was a very interesting race. Like I said, Tanner Mullins led most of it, but Gary Christian for a good long while gave him hell. Like those two, we said this about another race you went to last week or the week before. Sometimes it only takes 2 cars to make a
Yep.
race, and those two were going. Man, they made a race of it, pretty dang good until Gary threw a Hail Mary slider, maybe a 10 laps too early. Yeah, I can't remember the whole thing, but he ended up looping it, and then that was kind of the end of his night. And then from there, Mullins pretty strongly drove away. But all things considered, I thought the racing was pretty good. The racing in the pack was solid. Um, and then they ran the Mean Gene Summer Sizzler after, so that was the second feature. That thing was a banger. that was a banger. At one point, there was like 4 guys battling for the lead in lap traffic. Like, so in the shot, there's like 6 cars and 4 of them are for the lead. It was really good. The only bummer part is I when I was looking it up to verify that I remembered who won, apparently Ryan Gilmore, who won when I was watching, got DQ'd.
Oh,
So the winner got DQ'd. But in my mind, that was a hell of a race. But Mitch Keeter was the winner following the tech shed. So and that was 2 grand, 23.63 to win. So he picked up a good chunk of change. Um, but anyway, the Heartland, I know you didn't watch any of it, so you ain't
no,
got much.
I didn't
Sure.
watch none of it.
But so they go again this weekend. Just worth mentioning, they're at Lucas Oil on the 3rd, and then the 4th and 5th they're at Central Missouri Speedway. So might check them out. Hell, they put on quite a show. And then I got to give us a little bit of crap. We missed the show.
Yeah.
We a pretty big one, but 10,000 to win at Sheridan Speedway, which is in Sheridan, Wyoming, and the event was called the Summer Showdown. Did you see who won?
Jake Smith.
Correct.
10,000 win for WISSOTA Midwest Mods. We
WISSOTA
should add,
Midwest
yeah.
Mods. Yeah, I didn't put that part in, um, but yeah. So that was one of my guys. I see him race quite a bit around here. And he drove all the way out to Wyoming and picked up 10K. And then speaking of Midwest mods, I do want to mention, so Ashley Boyum, who we are on that car, she won up at Emo Speedway in Canada. She went up to Canada and picked up a win for the Race for the Fallen, I believe was the name of the event. So it was a memorial event as well, I believe, some sort, so, or a special event. So heck yeah, she's getting in the win column. She's tuning up for the big deal. That's what's going on. She's playing possum to start and stayed close to home. She's up that way now. Stayed close to home, got right, and now in just a few weeks, you're gonna go pick up a big check at Ogilvy. So
She's
um,
running. Oh yeah, she'd be running the B mod portion. I learned that
yeah,
Benji is entered for that portion as well. He's because you can run IMCA A
yep,
mods with it, so he entered for that. Because
okay,
he was thinking about running both, but he's just gonna run just the. He doesn't feel like changing a bunch of crap and whatever. And if he ran both, I think he would have just ran like his crate against the open, and he was like probably
yeah.
not. And he's no way he's changing a motor between every race and all that.
Well, hopefully that means he'll be there well, oh, it's just a 1-day event. That's right. So he'll definitely be there.
Yeah,
Um,
well, because I think
yeah,
Friday's qualifying or whatever, and then
I think so.
Saturdays.
Then they
So
just do
unless he
everything
qualifies
again.
dead last, he might, and then maybe he'll be like, all right, screw it. But yeah, I assume he'll be there for both days. So
Right on. Well, I'll have to swing by and see him. Maybe I can get one of those cars.
yeah, if
Oh,
he's
I
got
doubt
them,
it. I
he could
highly
be could
doubt it.
be
I'm not
he could
that
be in the
special.
same heat as Ashley. Could have 2 cars with a Dirt Info sticker
Heck
in
yeah.
the same heat.
Exactly. I was just reaching for one actually. I was gonna say, and I could see my sticker on his car. So I actually I need to start handing these out more. I did give some out. I didn't mention this last episode. I did give some out to uh to it's a 7K Racing, and I feel like I'm gonna mess their name up, so I apologize. But it was Teddy, Josiah, and Jackson Kachadi, I believe is how you say it. So I think we're out there a little bit more. So I just let this be the little PSA. I usually have some on me, so if you see me, you want them on a race car or your regular car or whatever, hit me up because I'll have some. Carter has some too,
I have some.
by the way.
I'm not carrying them on me, but they're in my car. So, and I
Okay.
take my car to
See?
the racetrack. So
Yeah,
they're
so
nearby.
yeah.
I know Benji has one, and then Travis Hansen has got one on his car as well in my area.
Yep.
So, and then Cole
And
has,
Cole.
yeah, he's
Yep.
got some
And he has them on, I think, both the stock car and the
IMCA mod.
modified.
Yeah,
Yep, on the IMCA one. Veggie has them on both cars too. Yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
just a stock car, or just the
Okay.
mod. Sorry, just the mod.
Okay. Wow, no big deal. I was just trying to remember. And then Travis has them too. So anyway, they're out there. They're in the wild. So a lot of these guys find themselves in victory lane. I'm just saying. Anyway. um So anyway, so we talked the regional roundup last week, and then rain just like crushed all of it.
Ruined everything we talked about pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So SL Lamar got rained out 3 out of 4 days. Andrew Kosiski did win at Adams County um, on
Nebraska guy.
Saturday. Yep, yep. So and then Tri-State, I guess Tri-State had some interesting news though. That was an interesting. I get it, save the race, so I can appreciate that for sure. But they were
Should
supposed
we
to be
okay, I was gonna say, should we say
yeah.
what they did? Okay.
Yeah. So they were supposed to be at Hancock County, but that got rained out. I was getting hammered most of last week, and so day of they changed it to be at Park Jefferson, which I mean is where most of the guys who race that regularly are more in that area. I think so. Not not the worst, and I guess they'd been rained out just a ton this year already. So like, they're just trying to get some races
Get a
in, and they
race in,
found
yeah.
found a solution, so, um, I dig it. Interesting, never seen it change the day of,
Yeah, it was like
but
what, 10, 11 in the morning. They switched it to
yeah,
Park Jefferson, and it was a points night. I when they first
yeah,
did it, I thought it was gonna like you can run here, but it's gonna be non-points. But I think it was points and everything.
yeah, it was.
So they got 31 cars though. It's not like so. I mean, they still showed up.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out, and, Jeffrey Larson won, so,
I saw that
um,
was his fourth ever start in a late model, by the way.
crazy. Well,
Yeah,
that
he's
way to go,
I know
Jeffrey.
him as a stock car guy. I don't know if he's run other stuff, but I know him as a stock car guy. But I
Hmm.
guess he's pretty good in the late model too.
Yeah, it turns out. And then they did go do the other 2 dates in Iowa though. So, Saturday they were at Hamilton County and, a guy from more up by me, Jordan Yagi won that. I think he's out of like Rochester or something. So,
Yeah. Yep.
yep. Yep. And then, oh no, I wrote it down and then I lost it. They went to Mason City and they had 20 entries and apparently I wrote down the winner and I deleted it. So Carter's gonna do some live fact checking
Your
for
winner was Charlie Olson.
Charlie Olson. There it is. And I've seen him race fair bit too. So right on. Heck yeah. So I mean, the rain kind of ruined a little bit of the storyline we were looking at, but all around, it looks like they got cars here and there, and there was some good racing that still went down. So we'll check back in. They're both off this weekend. I don't know about the weekend after that, so but we'll check in on them again when.
I did see one of the SLMR guys after they rained out. Dylan Thornton went to Farmer City for the Hell Tour race, and he made the feature. I don't remember where I think it was like
Okay.
12th or something, but he made the feature. But I also saw this week he's back in the DRT car, the one that Cody Summer runs or whatever,
Oh,
owns. And they're doing I think it's July 1st through the 3rd Hell Tour races. I don't remember where they all are. One of them's LaSalle. I think it's Benton Speedway in like Missouri,
yeah.
and then uh, Spoon River and LaSalle. I think those are the
Oh,
three. And then Friday they're going to Tazewell Speedway for the Southern Thunder Series, which I thought was interesting. I figured they'd just run all of the Hell Tour, but I
yeah.
guess not. And then Saturday's a to be announced. My guess is Hobstadt with the Hell Tour, but who knows where I don't know where Southern Thunder's at on Saturday,
Yeah,
so it
they
could be
got
with them
yeah.
too.
Could be. I suppose good for him though. He's getting experience, kind of some stuff he wouldn't otherwise maybe run.
Yeah, and
Well. That's.
that'll be a new
I mean,
experience for him.
yeah. First running the things Eldora, which is pretty wild, and then the second time he does a stint in it, he includes Tazewell. So I guess they're testing him. That's for sure.
And it's not
But
a one-time deal. I think you thought it
yeah,
might have been
I
like just
thought
an
I thought
Eldora thing, but
yeah, I
guess
thought it
not.
was just an Eldora thing. So, and good for Dylan, honestly. I thought he did pretty solid at Eldora. He showed well for himself. He didn't end up. I don't think he made the big dream, but did well for himself. So I'm glad that this is leading to more opportunities for him too, and um, it gives me a reason to check out how he did at Tazwell, honestly, because that's pretty crazy. So, right on. Well, that's an interesting little tidbit. Way to drop that in there. I think this is the portion where we transition to looking forward now. That's kind of most of our results and stuff. So, uh, you're going racing, And
Yep.
I was under the impression it was a standard weekend, but I don't know much more than you telling me I'm dead wrong. So what are we
Well, like
what are we doing this weekend?
it could end up somewhat standard depending on if the weather changes for the better or not. But right now, Thursday, I'm going to Luxembourg. They run Thursday instead of running on July 4th. Um,
Mhm.
and they have some extra
That
money.
should
It's like,
keep the rain away.
yeah, right now it doesn't show rain for Thursday for what it's worth. So right now they're looking good. They could get 3 weeks in a row in, which would be
We're
a
on a
miracle.
hot streak.
They have some extra money too. All that money that from prior races got rained out, it is now moved to this race. So like mods are 1,500, stock cars, sport mods are 1,000. I don't remember the other classes, but I know they're street stocks and four cylinders got a boost too.
Right
And
on.
then Friday I'm not going anywhere. There's options. I could go somewhere, but I'm gonna shoot some fireworks off. They're more fun when you're the one lighting them. They're not as fun watching them. Um,
I
oh,
take the opposite approach to that. I like watching them. I'm not a big fan of lighting
I
them.
will say at Angel Park they did have fireworks. I did not stream them. I was tearing down the whole time while there. I barely watched them. I
Well,
was so busy.
you got to see them though. You were there.
I saw a few of them. I mainly heard them, but I was too busy taking down a
You
bunch of
felt
camera
the
equipment.
aura though. Like it made you feel slightly more patriotic. I'm sure.
It actually made it inconvenient to take my stuff down when all the lights turned off and I couldn't see anything. I was waiting for a
Then you could
firework
do
to go off
right.
for 2 seconds of light.
Exactly.
But yeah, then anyways, Friday I'm doing nothing at a racetrack. Saturday, if the weather works out, we're gonna celebrate Independence Weekend at Independence Motor Speedway in Iowa.
Ooh,
Um, and they have that pro late model tour there that Saturday, and they have a makeup feature for them too, so we get two late model features if
goofy.
they get it in. But right now, of course, I looked in Iowa. The only day that shows rain in Iowa is that Saturday, so fantastic. Um,
Beautiful.
and if
What's the backup plan?
Boone is like it's consideration, but more than likely we'll just go to 141 on Saturday because they added originally they weren't supposed to race and they added a show and it's like 2,000 for mods, 1,500 for stock cars or something, maybe 2,000 for stock cars. I don't remember. It's a bunch of money for all the classes. They just added the show
Mm,
because why not? They added it like a
yeah.
month ago, I think.
What about
But
Deer
then
Creek?
no, probably not. We're going there in September.
You can't go to a place more than once?
We could, but what about Luxembourg on Thursday? What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I'm unsure. But um I am going to Deer Creek a day. That's what I know for sure is that I'm going to Deer Creek. So I think weather is a factor here too. Last I looked, now admittedly I haven't looked for a day or two, but the last I saw, I thought Friday was possibly rainy, and Saturday looked clear. So but anyway, TBD. I know that Sherry wants to do a cookout too, and I'm kind of itching to make some food and have some friends around. So we'll figure out one day it'll be a cookout and one day it'll be racing. That's what I know, and I'm excited to go to Deer Creek. It's um, the Wi-Fi is better. So the last time we talked about them, I said they'd be undefeated if they had more connectivity. They have better connectivity now.
Oh, there you go. I want
So
to quick mention, if we do go to
yeah.
Independence, we're gonna go to Dubuque on Sunday because it's on the way home.
Uh,
So
oh, I didn't mean to cut
no,
you
you're
off. I'm
good. We'll just stop there on the way home. They
sorry.
just got a weekly show going on there. So
Heck yeah. But we've been invited to Dubuque though, I'm pretty sure.
oh, have
So
we?
yeah, I think isn't that the one that Big Boy is affiliated with? Jason Fromelt?
Oh yeah, I think he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
there twice before, but yeah, I do I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So look at you taking up an invitation. Be sure to say hello to him. Honestly, I've chatted him up at a racetrack before, and I did it super awkwardly. You know me, like my intros are it leaves something to be desired, a
Mine
little
probably aren't
jumpy.
much better. That's why I don't introduce myself to people because mine aren't much better.
You got to live with it though. Just be your awkward self. It's okay. They'll accept you. I promise.
We'll probably be there early because we're getting a hotel for Saturday night, but then we're checking out of it at 11 a.m. and there's not a ton to do after we check out. We're gonna go to the Field of Dreams if we end up going, but then after that it's like eat and then I guess we just hang out in the parking lot of the racetrack until the gates open. So
Okay. Well, now this is becoming a short. This will probably be part of the short, but we're gonna get this up and we'll get you. We'll get you something to do. Anyways,
Yeah, they got me picking rocks, watering the racetrack or
yeah,
something.
they'll put you to work. Make for a good story. uh, but so yeah. Well, transitioning back. So World of Outlaws, Deer Creek. I'm hoping to hit it up. And this show, I don't know. You know me, I like to be positive most of the time, but I am gonna just say that this show is a bit of a it's not as cool as it used to be. Like when I first started going to this, it was a Lucas show. Wu had the weekend or Outlaws had the weekend off, and it was co-sanctioned with MLRA, and there was just a boatload of cars there. And it was just a really cool atmosphere. And I don't know. I haven't even felt compelled to go to it since it switched over to an Outlaw show. This is the first time I'm really feeling kind of excited, and I'm definitely going to make it. I think there's a chance that I have like a somewhat limited edition apparel item there for me. There's an outside chance based on some conversations. So, like, I'm definitely going to go at least pick that up. But I don't know. Like, Lucas runs at Atomic and Muskingum County this weekend for 25 grand each. And like none of those guys are going to be at Deer Creek. That's just a bummer. Deer Creek's awesome. Turbo will be there though. You told me
Yeah,
Turbo
he
will be
posted that they're gonna be there. I saw him
there. Right
post, so
on. Right on. Yeah. I remember him saying one time, they're like, "What do you like about this place?" He's like, "They never turn off the water truck." Which is kind of true. They got those big Terragators, and I swear they go out like in between every other heat or something. They keep her tuned up, that's for sure. But I'm looking forward to it. Second time there this year. See, I can go there more than once.
Yeah, are you 5.5 hours away from there?
I'm two. I'm
Oh,
half
two
as far.
2 hours. 2 hours is nothing. I would be there all the time if I was 2 hours. I used to go to Beaver Dam on a Tuesday every night when they're on Tuesdays. 2 hours away.
Yeah. So no, but it should be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. So I just don't know which day I'm going yet. Like part of me wants to go on Friday because I think that's the day they're gonna do the big fireworks. And you know me and fireworks. And then but then like Saturday's the big show. Um
Yeah,
so so
you
but
get a
I do
shorter
all
feature if you go Friday. It's longer Saturday too.
yeah, see, so you get more racing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll figure it out. I got from when we're recording this to when I got to make a decision. It's a lot of days, so a lot of things can change. But I do also want to mention the Northern Lights Modifieds are racing with them as well, and they're going for 2,000, 2,000, and 3,000. And then I think it's interesting that they're not timing in. They're going back to the more Gopher 50 style thing when it was um like sort of unsanctioned or USRA mods.
Oh yeah.
But they're doing just draw, redraw, and passing points. So I thought that was noteworthy because these series have all been timing in lately, so it's a little bit of a reversion. But I bet they get a bunch of cars. This show usually pulls down quite a few cars. I mean, hell, Deer Creek alone usually gets a lot of cars for mods. Um, so I don't know. Some travelers will probably come up back up this way. Some of the guys that were at Larry Phillips and stuff. I'm not going to make a prediction because the last time we did that, we showed our ass. But um, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a healthy field of those guys as well too. So and they'll definitely put on a show. It's the mecca of modifieds. That's what they call Deer Creek, the mecca of modifieds. So like, obviously the mods are going to throw down a banger. Um, but speaking of mods, there's a no, there's a another little tour kicking up at the end of this week. The what is it? You know what it is?
The Dakota Classic Mod Tour
Yeah,
plus stock cars.
plus stock cars. Yeah. So I've been seeing my feed's been pretty filled up of people announcing. So I'm imagining they've got a few good bit of cars that
Yeah,
are
they usually
announced.
get a good amount, especially mods, and then stock cars have been kind of. I feel like actually they've been going up. I think there's more just tracks that run stock cars in that area now.
Yeah,
But they always got a full field of them, but now they're just getting more. So,
right on.
and
Yeah.
I just saw too a guy who maybe might have showed up to Deer Creek, will not be at Deer Creek. He'll be on the Dakota Mod Tour. Yes, Kyle Strickler. He just got just picked up an IMCA mod today, I believe, as of recording.
Yeah.
To run Deer Creek or not Deer Creek to run the Dakota
Not
Mod
Deer
Tour.
Creek, yeah, I don't think he's thinking of IMCA mods in Deer Creek. I picked this up to run it. I
Maybe
know I
maybe he
got
thought the Harris
it.
Clash was still there or something. I don't know.
I got lost. But anyway, so yeah, so the I'm becoming more and more familiar with this. I think I learned about it last year. Now I'm like, I was looking forward. I knew it was coming and everything. But so we've got 6 days of racing, 2,000 for mods each night, 1,000 for stock cars. And then they go 6 straight, and they even go to Canada a night. So just running through it real quick, starting on Saturday, July 5th is Jamestown, and then they go to Nodak. We just talked about Nodak. And then they go to Canada for Estevan, and then Williston Basin, Southwest Speedway, and Dakota Speedway. So pretty grueling tour, and I didn't even look at entries, but do you think in historically is it like 40 plus? Do you even
I
remember, or we just
think 40 sounds right for mods. That
okay?
sounds right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's for some reason that number felt right, but so that's 40 dudes going up and down. That's some crazy racing. I'm sure it gets wild. So, and you know me not liking to be prepared, but I am gonna ask by chance, do you know what it's on?
IMCA TV.
IMCA TV.
Last year for the opener got rained out, so the opener technically was at Nodak. 'Cause the first one got rained out. They had 50 mods and 34 stock cars,
Okay.
and then I'm
Right
just
on.
gonna and even
Nodak
three
had
days
like
later they
35. Oh, go ahead.
30 yeah, I would say 3 days later they still had 50 during the week. I thought maybe the weekend might
Okay.
have boosted it, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I Nodak had 38 just for the Outlaw show.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That was pretty cool too. So, also another, I knew because I knew we had previewed ourselves in preparation that this was going to come up this week. So anyway, I was like, dang. Anyway, I might have to look in. No, I won't. I'll be busy, but I'll pay attention. I want to see it, but I guess I'll just hit up IMCA social feeds and see if I can see highlights here and there. That'll have to
You can
be
watch
the best
the
way to
live
do it.
look-ins and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. I have to do it on the cheap because I don't. I'm not. I just don't have. I'm. You can't spend that money and not spend the time to watch it. You know what I mean? Like that's fool's errand and stuff. But anyway, so then that's everything we wanted to talk about. So that means Carter.
It is time for the one for the road. And my one for the road, I saw this on Facebook last night or this morning, but so East Moline Speedway, they run Sundays and they just had a weekly show going on. And Garrett Alberson, I guess, needed a place to test. So he went there with his super late model, and I don't know if it was in between races during intermission or whatever, but they let him test. And then I guess they're having an autograph session for the mod light drivers, and they let Alberson. Alberson just took his late model out there too, and also did autographs. So I mean, imagine just showing
It's
up
pretty neat.
to a random weekly show at your local track, and there's Garrett Alberson running some laps, and then you get autographs too. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of cool
Yeah,
that he would stay for autographs too. I mean, he's a nice guy. I think I've never seen anything negative about him, so it doesn't shock me that he stayed. But I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. That is kind of cool. Um, It just shows, I guess, like you said, shows the kind of guy he is. I'm just, that would be rad. You're like, you thinking you're there for a regular. That's like me going on Sunday to Granite City, and then all of a sudden, uh, Bobby Pierce is
He's
ripping
just
laps or
yeah,
something. You
ripping
know what I
laps.
mean? Yeah, it's like whoa. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, so for mine, I want to mention a show that we were both at last year, and I don't think either of us are gonna make it there. But so
Oh,
the
down
yeah,
to Gla. All right. I was trying to
yeah,
figure out
yeah,
where we were both at.
yeah. That was when I was being weird and being all proud of my friend working. Anyway, but so they've got the border battle this coming weekend. So we were there on a Sunday. They switched it up a little bit. It's Friday, Saturday this year, and they've got late models and modified. I'm reading my notes and I'm thinking like I think I wrote something down wrong. So I apologize. Let's start that again. Anyway, so the border battles at Gondik Law and the WISSOTA Challenge series is there as well. They've got late models, mods, super stocks, and Midwest mods running both nights. And I believe the mods and the late models.
Pure
No,
stocks are also there.
pure stocks. Yes, they are.
Oh,
I
don't
had
forget
that.
about them.
I had them written down too. Um, but so what are you? You've got it right there in front of you, right? You got the flyer. Are you looking
No,
at
I
it?
have my race pass in front of me.
Oh crap. Okay. I think late models and mods are 3,000 each, but my
I can get you the flyer.
yeah, give me the flyer real quick. I just don't want to misspeak.
Yep.
Apologies.
The late models and mods are 3,000 to win each night, and then the super stocks and Midwest mods are 1,000, and pure stocks are
Yep.
250.
Yep.
And when we went to this last year, this was a 10,000 to win mod show, right? If I
It
remember right.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the show where Brandon Kopp led every lap but the last one, and
And
Shane
then,
Sebastian
yep.
came from a B main. Yeah, to win. Yep. So needless to say, the racing is pretty good at Gondik Law, and the late models were there too. They had a pretty solid race as well, if I remember. I'm not going to quote anything about it. I just remember
Yeah,
it was a good
all I
race to
remember is
see.
that mod feature there. I'll be honest. That's the one.
Yep.
That's
No,
my
no.
my
It was,
core memory from that race.
yep, absolutely. No, it was just it was just a good race. I can say with all confidence. So they're going to lay down some good race in there, and then the day before, so ABC also is doing they're calling it the farm stocks special, and they're running for 1,500 for late models and 2,000 for mods. But my favorite part about that, free hot dogs. So-
Is it limited to one person
I
or
didn't
one
read
hot
that
dog per
far.
person?
They just said they were grilling them up and they were giving them out. So
That's Ryan Newman is going there too. He's continuing his tour of Wissota region racetracks. He's been
yeah,
to Cedar Lake, I-94. He's going to Hibbing, and now he's going to ABC.
yeah.
And he's racing too.
Yeah, he's been in a car at all of them too. So yeah, that's kind of
It's
cool.
kind of it's I don't know, kind of strange that all the Wissota tracks are trying to get him. I mean, Kyle Larson's too expensive or something. I don't know what's going on there.
Ryan Newman's more affordable. I don't know. I mean, must have some connection to someone up here
Yeah,
that.
he's gotta. I mean, he's running a car for Don Shaw, I believe. I think that's like a
Okay.
car for him. So that might be the connection there. But yeah, I just thought it
Okay.
was funny that Ryan Newman just out of nowhere the last few weeks is just hitting up tracks in the Wissota area.
Yeah. Wasn't he at Cedar Lake too?
Yeah, Cedar Lake,
Yeah.
I-94, and then he's
Okay.
going to be at
That's
Hibbing
what he said.
and ABC.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I missed that the first time you said it. So thanks for saying it again. I appreciate it. But anyway, well, with that, I'm pretty sure that is everything and more that we plan to talk about. So that means it's time to head out, Carter. Um, and if they're still here, they should what?
Like, subscribe, comment, give us a rating,
Yeah, still
sh
haven't gotten one of those.
share. Yeah, it'll come eventually. I might have to do it ourselves for ourselves. Share on Facebook,
Yeah,
retweet, all the fun stuff.
so something. And at minimum, like I always say, tell your grandma we're good. We're big with the grandmas. So anyway, we appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you next week.
Right.